ends up saying, oh, if we get in bed with the KGB, we trade her. Trade her to who? America? When I tell you, I don't know if it's my paranoia. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust the DEA. I don't trust the KGB. What's up? Welcome back to my channel, King Nikki TV, where I give you commentary on popular movies and TV shows. In this video, I will be recapping the final season 6 of the series, rest in peace to John Singleton, Snowfall. This is the final season, and we off to a good start. I got high hopes for this season. They gave us a double dose. We got 2 new episodes to start the season off with, and I will be recapping both episodes in this video. Now, where we left off at, which is kind of the catalyst that gets us started this season, 2 situations. The most insignificant that I really didn't care about, Teddy, foreign girl. I cannot think of how to pronounce her name. I know it starts with a P. She goes missing. Teddy is looking for her. But I don't care about that. I cannot stand Teddy. I mean, like from day one. What was the guy, Alejandro? Was that the first like guy who was dealing with the CIA agent? I cannot think his name, but I think it was Alejandro. Anyway, when he first bring Teddy in, I did not like Teddy off rip. And I am so annoyed that he has to be like the main villain of the show. So, you know, he just has been sticking around. But hopefully this is the final season and it will be death. Real, like just nasty, dirty comeuppance for Teddy. I cannot stand him. Oh my God, I cannot stand Teddy. But anyway, the other situation that we have is the fact that Teddy stole $70 million from Franklin Saint. And honestly, y'all, I'm still very confused on why he did it. I mean, like the motive. Teddy always been a dirtbag, like we know that, but why take every single solitary cent that Franklin has when he's done all this stuff for you and made you all this money? I don't get it. Like, is it just a use people and throw them away type of situation? But I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. He didn't do that to Avi. He didn't steal out Avi. I don't know. I'm still a little confused on exactly the motive of why exactly he decided to screw Franklin over in that way to steal every single solitary cent. Like, ain't still a little something. Like I didn't understand it, especially after making a decision to work with Louis, cutting Franklin out of that whole thing. Now, Franklin ended up very desperate. He goes to Louis, asks her to hook him up with Teddy to find out his location, where they would do their job. She refused, and Franklin put a gun on her. And really, in his desperation, I think he would have killed her if Buckwheat hadn't been there. Buckley, the little basehead ex-cop. Now, Franklin ended up stealing $3 million in product and money from his Uncle Jerome and his Aunt Louie. Now, that's like pennies. Teddy stole $70 million from Franklin. Franklin stole $3.2 million. That's a drop in the bucket compared to what he had. Where for me, I feel like, was it even worth stealing from your own family? That's a drop, like $3 million compared to 70. That is literal nothing in comparison. I mean, look, child, I ain't never had $1 million, so $1 million is a lot. But I mean, in comparison to what Franklin lost, $3 million for me, is that really worth stealing from your own family? Nothing worth stealing from your family, but I mean, that ain't really make any sense to me. Now, with this first episode where we come in at, I felt like Franklin wasn't smart. Franklin been slipping like a mofo, and he really slipped this first 2 episodes. Now, for me, the smart thing to do is be like Peaches. When you gonna steal something, you need to have the getaway plan. If I'm stealing at 10 a.m., my flight taking off at noon. Like, get the heck up out of Dodge City. It was very odd to me that Franklin stole from Jerome and Louis and was just gallivanting through the city like everything was all good. I thought that was really, really very strange to me. Now, one thing that really irked my nerve was Louis goes to Teddy so that he can front her some keys. They don't have no product. They don't have no money to buy no product. And when he gets wind of Franklin stealing from them, when I tell you, Teddy had the nerve. He had the freaking nerve to just be like, oh, this family, why can't they just gonna self-destruct? They can't get their stuff together. Teddy says, this effing family, it's like they don't have the good sense to not tear each other apart. I wanted to be like, excuse me, my nigga. Hold on now. See, ooh, y'all. Okay, let me calm down. This pisses me off so bad. This is like starting a fire and then wondering why niggas is coughing from smoke. Baby, you stole every dime Franklin had, okay? Then you agree to go behind his back and make a deal with Louis when she comes to you behind Franklin's back. But you confused on why the family is at odds? Teddy, y'all, if somebody don't slap fire out of Teddy one good time, like, oh my God, I need a good ass comeuppance for Teddy. They better have something real fire in the books for this character, because I cannot stand him. I'm talking about, I want something done dirty. Kill his wife and son in front of him. But you know what? That don't even matter, because he don't care about them. He don't care about them. But I mean, do something real dirty. I just could not believe the nigga that killed Franklin Daddy, the nigga that started all this, the nigga that got drugs in the hood. None of them would have had nothing if it weren't for Ted and the CIA bringing them the keys. You got the nerve to say this effing family. No, you, Teddy, you. But anyway, so Franklin, girl, Veronique, he ends up showing V all the product and money that he stole, letting her know we got to find a way to get the money into the banks because lenders ain't going to take dirty money or whatever. And this is something else I'm confused on. Franklin had $70 million. Him and Veronique was doing this huge, like, real estate deal with the city, some ish that's above my pay grade, over my head. And maybe I'm simple, but baby, why was we doing that? Like, I don't understand why we are so concerned with, like, I get the mom wanting to do her real estate, wanting to have, black businesses, get their neighborhood together. But like this stadium, Coliseum, whatever the hell Franklin and V was doing, I was confused. Like, baby, we got $70 million. To me, that sounds like more money than I could spend in a lifetime. That sounds like more money than two people could spend in both their lifetimes. Like, we're good at this point. We've been good before $70 million, but $70 million, I didn't understand, like, why are we so obsessed with this Coliseum deal and doing all this big stuff? Like, Teddy got upset because it was like too flashy, too public with them getting involved in this. And it just kind of F Teddy, but it just kind of threw me for a loop because, baby, you is a drug dealer. So it would seem to me like I would be flying under the radar and I would be making an escape plan. Like, I'm not trying to be a drug dealer for the next 20 years. This ain't no, like, your 401k together. Like, retire. I don't know. I guess to me, the end game, I would have thought would have been, oh, shoot, V about to have a baby. I'm worth $70 million. Let's just get the heck up out of Dodge City. And why the hell are we still in this city? Like, I don't know. I would think that you would be doing an exit strategy, kind of like my baby Leon. I am so freaking happy that Leon and Wanda sailed off into the sunset and went to Africa. And I am praying that we don't see them characters on the show ever again, because I don't want them to come back, because then the issue ain't gonna end so well. Like, I just feel like I just know it. I feel like I knew from the beginning that Leon was the only one with some good sense. Let me tell you, when Leon was laying shot, bleeding, as far as he knew, dying in Saint backyard, and he had the wherewithal to tell Franklin to go hide the stuff before the cops, because if the cops come to the crime scene, they might search the house because baby being shot there. When he had the wherewithal to tell Franklin to hide that stuff, I knew right then and there that he was the one. I said, nah. I said, oh, first of all, baby is thorough as hell, 10 toes down, smart, got more sense than a little bit. To me, it it kind of seemed like his character was like the real, like in the hood one, not on Franklin level. Cause Franklin was like the good kid, the smart kid off to the white school. And it was kind of, Franklin wanted to go off and do all this big stuff, and Leon was just staying in the projects. But Leon was the one that had good sense. He had way more smarts and intelligence for me than Franklin, and I just knew. So I was like, please do my character right. Please make his story arc like really hit. Don't do him dirty. So I am very happy with him getting the good sense to look around and see what this drugs and everything that their business is doing to their community, to their people, wanting to get up out of this, wanting to detach from all of it. Look, leave him and Wanda in Africa. Please. Look, storybook ending. And you don't get no happy ending in this game. So please just let them stay where they at. Now, Franklin ends up, I got sidetracked. He ends up telling V that he stole everything he did. And I'm with V and her reaction. Stealing from your own family? And when she was like, you need to call Jerome, give them all their stuff back. First of all, $3 million compared to $70 ain't inch, so yeah, get them their inch back. But also like, stealing from your family? I was with her. And when he was all like, I need you to, go down to Miami to the bank, and are you going to do this, or do I need to find somebody else? And when she was like, find somebody else, I was with her 100%. I'm not on board for this. But then of course, when Franklin is at the little airstrip, V comes and she agrees to go do it. And I'm just like, I get it, child. You got a little bun in your oven. You in love with this man. So that's the side you picking. But I got, like, baby, this is wrong. This is wrong. You cannot go to war with your own family. You cannot steal from your own family. And ultimately above all, I blame Teddy for everything. Teddy and the CIA, that's it. Above all, they're responsible for every single solitary cause and effect on the show. And Franklin too, because Franklin really disappointed me. I ain't gonna get to it yet, but in that big scene with him and Jerome in episode 2, but somebody else that I'm blaming is Louis. And I'm blaming Jerome because Louis and Jerome, this y'all business together. Jerome shouldn't be able to make business moves without Louis say so. Louis shouldn't be able to make business moves without Jerome say so. The second that Louis told Jerome about going around Franklin to the plug to make her own deal, cutting Franklin out of Ish, cutting the money down for Franklin and all this other stuff, he should have did a dead hard no. Period. What else did y'all think? Because they love to be like Franklin. They kind of treat, well, not they. Jerome kind of look at Franklin like he's still a kid, and they the two that know the game. Baby, what did y'all think would happen if you went around Scully, if he the one had the plug? If you went around Man Boy, he the one had the plug. If somebody went around you, and you, Louis, was the one with the plug, what do you think is going to happen when you putting a dent in somebody's pockets and you going? It's like a big thing when Man Boy was trying to get to the plug. That's like a big deal. What did y'all think was going? Maybe you ain't think baby was gonna steal from y'all, but you knew the ish wasn't gonna be good. Y'all wasn't gonna be having family dinner together. That irks me. First of all, that should have never happened. And I'm also confused because now when Louis found out that the plug was actually CIA, the way they reacted and was just all up in arms about it, to now you want to get in bed with them on like your own little relationship? I'm confused on that. And then when Franklin was wanting Jerome to do some ish, and Jerome was all about selling his speakers, and that's what he wanted to do, acting like he wanted to get out the game and sell speakers. But now y'all want to get in bed even deeper. I'm very confused. How we go from I just want to do the speaker business and being thrown for a loop and shook when y'all find out the plug is CIA, but now y'all want to get in bed even deeper. That ain't, I don't know. 1 + 1 that ain't making 2 for me. It just, I thought y'all wanted to get out of this. I didn't, like, why do y'all want to get deeper now? And I completely get when they wanted to do their own thing. Was like, look, we made things right with Scully. We got to connect down in, where they people at? Alabama? Louisiana, something like that, child. But I don't get why you needed to go straight to the plug yourself in order to run your own ish. Scully run his own ish. He don't go straight to the plug. Scully buying product from Franklin. Franklin don't run Scully ish. He run his own operation. So it's not making sense to me that you had to do that in order to run your own operation. But anyway, now Sissy goes to Franklin, and remember Sissy and Alton went to Cuba. Teddy went down, killed Alton, but he pretty much just disappeared. But we know who disappeared him. And Sissy ended up making friends down in Cuba, the KGB, and old boy wants to get with Franklin. So she finally comes to Franklin and tells him the whole situation. And when I tell y'all, give this lady all the awards. The lady that plays Sissy, this scene was so good. When when I tell you, baby, Franklin ain't got the sense God gave a duck. Like, he really be getting on my nerves sometimes. It just feels like he be so green. But anyway, Franklin ends up saying, oh, if we get in bed with the KGB, we traitor. Traitor to who? America? We traitors, and we gonna have to face the reality. We might have to leave. Baby, you ain't had the reality that you can't stay. That threw me. That really threw me. And baby, it must have threw Sissy too, because Sissy sitting here like, face the reality, we might have to leave. And she goes into just the greatest speech ever about everything she went through, the hours, days, weeks, months, when Alton disappeared, the fear that it could happen to her. And then when she's like, she finally realized, it dawned on her that Teddy didn't kill her, not out of kindness, not out of convenience, but because she was that insignificant, that she posed no threat to him in the slightest, that she was an inconsequential, is that the word? Inconsequential? Y'all, she was insignificant. My little country soul can't say inconsequential. That she was just insignificant little nigga, and he could give two ish about because she posed no threat. And that at that moment, she was like, F Teddy, F the CIA, F the government that backed them. She gonna take him down. And it ain't just good enough for her to take Teddy down. She want him to know it was the insignificant ass nigga that took you down. Y'all, when I tell you, Sissy went the hell in. And I love when she said, now, are you with me, Saint, or are you with them? Baby, Sissy has always been with Franklin. So now, I love that she said, are you with me now? Like, are you with me? Because I done always been with you. But now, are you with me? So Franklin ends up getting on board. He goes to meet the KGB guy. They meet at some kind of museum. When I tell you, I don't know if it's my paranoia. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust the DEA. I don't trust the KGB. I don't trust the local cops. Baby, when I say I don't trust nobody, I don't trust nobody. I hope that Sissy, everybody is making their own little plan for Teddy, their own little escape route. I don't know how you gonna run from the KGB and the CIA, but baby, we need to be thinking of something, because I don't trust nobody, because everybody got their own agenda, and we are just a means to their agenda's end. The KGB agenda is Teddy, and y'all, Sissy and Franklin, are just a means to their end. And the other situation where I was saying I don't trust the DEA is Gustavo. Another character that is beloved for me. When last season ended and he was telling his girl that him, her, and the kids was finna get up out of Dodge City, he was gonna get the 10 million, which, baby, how anybody knew what his 10 million was? How they knew where the stash was? When the DEA rose up on him when last season ended, I thought that was a wrap. I thought it was it. I thought that the DEA guy came to get him because he killed his DEA agent. That's not the situation. They are using Gustavo as like an informant because they want Teddy. Now, I'm going to presume that the DEA guy thinks Teddy had his agent killed and not Gustavo. To me, that's the only thing that's really making sense for me, because if he knew that it was Gustavo that killed old girl and Teddy really had no, even though Teddy was an idiot, but Teddy had nothing to do with her getting killed, Gustavo was the one pulling the trigger, I feel like this would be very different, but I'm going to presume he don't know that, because far as he know, his agent was working with Teddy, and she was getting him information so they could make their little bust or whatever on what Teddy was doing, selling and crap. Now, I'm trying to figure out what Gustavo is going to do and how he going to get up out of this, because yeah, the DEA not on him. They want Teddy, but do he got immunity? Like, are y'all just finna let him go scot-free? I don't know. They didn't really give us the ins and outs and details of his whole collaboration with the DEA. But I sure hope him and that lady and them kids get out unscathed. But my hope is thin, because in this game, I don't really see a happy ending for nobody. Now, let's get to, I dropped just a bit, but it's so insignificant to me because I really don't care about Teddy and Prista. Y'all, how y'all say that lady name? I don't really care about him and that foreign lady. I don't care nothing about, like, I cannot stand Teddy from day one. Y'all know that movie, A Low Down Dirty Shame, when Jada Pinkett sees the actor that play on her soaps and she punched him in the face? That would be me if I ever saw the actor that played Teddy. Like, I can't stand looking at his face. I can't. I cannot stand Teddy so badly. It's insane. Like, he irks. You ever had a character, like, they're fake, they're on TV, but they really, like, irk your nerve, like, they real. That's what Teddy be doing. I be wanting to slap fire out of Teddy. But anyway, when we last saw them, Teddy was breaking into Avi's place, and rest in peace to Avi, another character that I really love. And y'all know what? It was funny how Avi went from insane to a lot of sense real quick, because when White Boy Rob was first introducing Saint to Avi, it was a whole he crazy, and he was acting crazy. And then when Franklin brings Leon and Jerome, he crazy. But baby, Avi, he went from crazy to real together real quick. Avi was he was a rat. But I liked Avi. But anyway, when we last saw Teddy and his foreign girl, who is bat-ish crazy, I do like her though. Like, I do like her character. She's insane. I like insane people. Now, but she guilty by association. Now, he was breaking into, and I couldn't figure out where he was breaking into, but I think it was Avi's place. From this episode, I think it was Avi's place that he broke into, and he left old girl outside, and luckily the KGB guy had broke in right before Teddy got there, and he dips out, and from what we saw, he heard old girl little radio when Teddy was trying to say something to her, and we didn't know what happened after that, but Teddy is going around frantic trying to find old girl. And of course, I'm hoping the KGB got him and did it like they did my man Avi. Like, look, I like you, lady, but you're guilty by association. So it's a wrap on you. Now, one thing that I loved, and it's just, the freaking audacity on this guy. Teddy goes to Avi's people, and it looks like the guy that's in charge now is the same guy that Teddy shot the gun by his ear. And Teddy having nerve to think he can get help from them and trying to disguise like he's trying to help them when it comes to Avi. He don't give a ish about Avi. He care about himself and who coming after him. And he's trying to tell them, I could use my contacts, figure something out. And the guy is just like, get the hell up out of here. They don't want nothing to do with him. So then he tries to, I guess, garner some sympathy or something, talking about the person got his associate. And the guy's like, do you care about this associate? And he's like, yeah, he care about her. Oh, well, in that case, F you. And I was like, yes. Because you got nerve. Teddy, I give Teddy that. Teddy got a lot of motherfucking nerve. He do. I give him that. You got some nerve, child. I was so happy. And I loved him just running around ragged, not knowing what happened to this lady. But I was very disappointed. That ain't nothing happened to the lady. She ran. The KGB man ain't get her. She was walking down the dang street, I guess looking disheveled. Cops picked up. He went and got her from being held. It was very simple and easy. And I was very disappointed. I liked the lady, but I wanted something real terrible. Just so that it could affect Teddy. Because it seemed like he cared about the girl. Even though he didn't care about his own wife and child, he cared about this lady. Now, he ends up getting her to do a sketch of the KGB guy. He shows it to Gustavo, and Gustavo don't recognize the guy. And when I tell you I was on pins and needles, Gustavo goes home, and it's kind of, for me, eerily quiet. The way they like shot it, the way we were seeing Gustavo going through the house, I thought niggas was finna jump out. I thought something was finna happen. No, he looks at the picture on the refrigerator from Jerome and Louis' wedding, where the KGB guy was undercover as a waiter, which I thought was very stupid and unnecessary, like whatever the hell. But anyway, and that's when he puts two and two together, that the sketch that he got from Teddy is the same guy that he saw at Franklin's uncle and aunt's wedding. And him and Franklin meet up, and I was confused on why Gustavo was saying we, like who is like we, and I'm like, no, don't put you with Teddy. It's Teddy that Franklin wants. It's Teddy that the KGB want, but they put surveillance on Gustavo, so they killed Avi, so they'll do anything to Gustavo to get to Teddy. But I'm just like, stop saying we, because right now he don't know nothing about KGB. He just know Franklin. Franklin just care about his money. Franklin just care about getting to Teddy, not you. So stop weing it. But Franklin pretty much tells Gustavo he'll give him $10 million to get him Teddy. And I don't know if the DEA confiscated his 10 mil or if he got it back, but he baby need that money because he needs an escape plan. He needs an exit plan. Not only did Franklin steal the money and products from Jerome and Louis, he also goes to try and steal their customer. And I thought this was so, like, bruh, I'm a civilian and I could tell you this issue wasn't smart. So Franklin goes to make a deal with, what is his name? Big Dion from the projects, who took over when Leon left. And he goes to make a deal with them. And he has the drop set up where Black Diamond and Old Girl is going to make the drop right. And I feel like Franklin is slipping on a lot of accords. But for one, you really ain't got no security, nobody working for you except Black Diamond and Old Girl, which they ain't nobody to F with. Look, they roll tough, but we need more than just them two. You are in a situation where you are going up against Jerome and Louis, who got cops on the payroll, which I don't know why the Franklin wasn't thinking about this ish. You're going up against the CIA. Like, we need more security around you, more security with Black Diamond and them to go do this drop. And then something else that irked me was nobody should know where the drop is and know nothing about the drop. The fact that he was all like, well, they'll be back later tonight with the drop, and go let Jerome try to match it. You shouldn't be letting information get out, because I felt like he was slipping, but then also underestimating Jerome and Louis. Like, did you think you was going to steal from them and they just wasn't going to do anything at all? And you're going to just send Black Diamond and Old Girl to this drop by themselves, no kind of backup or nothing? That really irked my nerve. And I knew something was up with this drop. The second Franklin went to the project and said they'll be back later tonight with it for the drop. I don't know. I just knew something was up. So they go pick up the stuff from Franklin. They got their kids in the car, and I thought it ain't make no sense, but the way stuff went down, I was like, baby, maybe the kids should have came with them to do the drug deal with Dion and them at the projects, because maybe that would have changed some things. But they go do the deal. They give them the product. They take the money. They leave. And that's when sirens go off. They get pulled over. And, of course, it is Buckley with his cop friends that are still on the force. And I was confused why we did this so public, but I guess the cops is their own little gang that nobody can't touch. I guess it don't even matter that we killed somebody freaking in front of a bunch of witnesses, which I thought ain't make no sense, but whatever the hell. So they make Old Girls get out the car. They just like, look, we ain't got nothing on us but money. Franklin called a lawyer. Let's just get out the car. So Jerome ends up coming over there. And when I didn't like this so bad. And this is why I say I wish they would have brought the kids, because I just feel like maybe if they would have pulled them over and they would have had their kids in the back seat, this would have went down different. Only because I feel like most people have like a heart for kids. Like, kids are innocent, so I feel like you wouldn't do certain things if kids are around, because you're gonna be like, nah man, it's kids here. Like, you don't want the kids to get hurt. You don't want them, you know what I mean? Like, not everybody, of course, but most people are more likely to have a heart when it comes to kids. So I kind of feel like this wouldn't have went down the way it did, but they end up, Jerome asking them, like, where is Franklin's stash so that he can get his stuff back that was stole from him. And he ends up taking a gun and freaking beating Black Diamond. Y'all, this scene was so hard to freaking watch. Her friend just freaking crying, like saying, stop hitting her. She got kids. Stop. We don't know where it is. And I'm just sitting here like, first of all, you and Louis the ones was talking about these girls, how they loyalty is money. Like, do y'all really think that they would take a beating like this if they knew the info, they would have gave it to you? So he pretty much beat old girl to death, which I thought, it killed me. And now her kids ain't got no mama. But that's how everything go full circle, because the way the episode starts off is we have the little girl sitting on her porch and the mailman come over. I think it was the mailman. He come over like, baby, what's going on? And she's like, her dad never came home. Like, she done been here all night by herself. And come to find out, they end up going to Louis them, either their club or their warehouse, and her dad was one of the people that Franklin and Black Diamond them killed when they was robbing Louis and Jerome. And that scene was so freaking sad. She goes over, because the cops like busy trying to keep people back, but nobody really paying attention to the little girl. So she goes past the little caution tape. Crime scene tape, and she doesn't see her dad's dead body, thank God, but she sees his wrist under the sheet with a little bracelet that has her name on it. And I thought it was so freaking sad. God damn it. So now she don't have a dad from what Franklin Black Diamond them did. Now Black Diamond dead and her kids don't have a parent. And old girl ends up telling Franklin she out for good. And Franklin was getting on my nerve with his attitude, that she pretty much had a pact with Black Diamond. They had a pact together that if anything ever happened to one of them, the one that survived would raise the other person's kids and they would get out and take care of their kids. And I don't know how many kids they got all together, baby. It was multiple kids running around that mug. Like, she got these kids to be thinking about. Franklin irked my nerve. Like, you think about your child that ain't born yet, but other people got kids too, Franklin. But that hurt my heart so bad. And another situation where Franklin was at the hospital was Kane. Kane done woke up, and that was another situation from last season where another situation of Louis making a decision that I felt like was so stupid. And if her and Jerome are in business together, decisions should not be made without both of their go ahead. So if y'all remember, Leon and Franklin's other best friend wanted to get back with the Mexicans from killing his cousins, and Franklin shoots him. Of course, Franklin was not trying to kill him, and he shot him in the leg, so I thought baby was gonna live. But he ended up bleeding out and he died. So this happened while his brother Kane was in prison. Once Kane gets released, he tries to get back for his brother getting killed. And I really felt like Louis was dead wrong for many reasons with this. Leon tells them, because they ended up hitting them at multiple different places. They hit Franklin when he was doing his drop with Teddy. They hit Jerome, Louis, Franklin, Mama, V, all them when they was out having brunch somewhere or eating or whatever at this restaurant outside. And Louis so focused on, she mad that she was shot at and she want to get revenge. But I'm saying, like, baby, did you die? Did you get shot? And I agree with Leon was like, he actually has cause to come at us. We killed his brother. Even though it ain't a we killed his brother, baby. Franklin killed his brother. But still, we guilty by association. Like, he has a right to be upset that we murdered his brother. And she should have let Leon handle it like Leon said he would. And Leon did handle it. But then she wanted to get her coked out cop friend to go kill Kane, which he botched that, lost his job, lost his badge, and Kane ain't even dead. So last season, when the season ended, Franklin goes to Kane and tells him who it was that actually did this. And of course, Louis feels like the only way Kane knows is that Franklin told him, because apparently she's trying to say nobody know that cop worked for her. I feel like everybody know, baby, because he was always sitting in your damn club. But anyway, and I halfway kind of feel like the way they got Louis moving, it kind of don't add up for me. Like, I don't know, is it just me, or I feel like it's not in her character's nature to have done all of this. The way she used to move and ride hard for Franklin, and just the way she would act, her attitude, I don't see her making a decision to go behind Franklin and go to the plug. Am I tripping? I just don't feel like that's something that she would do. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but I feel like that doesn't fit her character for me. Now, and I feel like she was always one to be thinking and using her mind and really thinking about stuff. I don't know. I don't see her doing that, because to me, they were such a tight-knit family, at least like her, Franklin, Jerome, because, you know, her and Sissy didn't really get along very well. I don't see her that was a situation where you kind of stabbing him in the back. I don't know. But I didn't like the way, and then it was like, baby, y'all get married. You finna get married and have somebody killed. I don't know, child. It made no sense to me. It didn't make any sense at all for me. Now, of course, the big buildup was Franklin and Jerome finally getting together. Now, when Louis and Jerome are at the club in the office having a conversation, he decides to call Franklin, who don't get back to them. But after a minute, Franklin gets back to him. And the way Franklin's attitude was on this phone call, like, I done stole from somebody, and then I answer the phone like, what up? What you want to see me for? Nigga, what you think we want to see you for? Now, Sissy ends up asking Franklin to talk to Jerome and squash all of this. When she asks Franklin, what is it that you want? And he's like, he want to get his money back. He want to marry V, have his baby, have the life that he was so close to. And she's like, well, how does going to war with Jerome aid in helping you get that? And did you ever stop to think that this is exactly what Teddy wants? Which that is why I was mad with Teddy's attitude about this effing family. When I'm like, baby, you the catalyst for all this. But when Sissy's like, don't you think that maybe this is what he wants, for y'all to just wipe each other out? So she also ends up having a conversation with Jerome, and Jerome was like, you never went hard for me the way you do Franklin and different stuff like that. And she's like, maybe you're right. We family. I want y'all to get together and talk. So Franklin and Jerome meet up at a public diner, and I'm like, good thing y'all was at a public diner, child. But Jerome sits down and he goes into a conversation with Franklin, and it really threw me back to when Jerome was looking for Peaches and he sat in on that veterans, what was that, like a group little thing that the veterans had, like a group therapy thing, and he was getting emotional. And we all know Jerome like battled some stuff and went through some stuff mentally. And he was telling Franklin, did I ever tell you about when I first came out here to California and stuff wasn't working in Texas? Sissy had moved to the Bay Area, so Jerome comes out here. He was working at the Chrysler factory. He was going through women. He was drinking alcohol. He was doing all kind of stuff, but nothing could help. He had like this hole in him. He was just in a really dark place. And Sissy was drowning because she was trying to save Alton, who was, in his alcohol stuff. She was trying to raise Franklin. So he told Sissy to come out where he was. And that's when Franklin really got in his life, and he made it like he felt like he had a purpose. He has a love. He was helping raise Franklin, and that meant something to him. And that is what took him out of that darkness. And it really bothered me that Franklin just was just sitting there like he really ain't care. I'm like, Jerome is Jerome is being emotional. Like, he's telling you what you meant to him and what he was going through at the time. And it really felt like Franklin was very cold and cavalier. Like, what? Baby, you ain't Scarface. Like, what is with his attitude? Like, why is he walking around here like he Nino Brown? Like, it's just really pissing me off that Franklin just has no heart for Jerome in the slightest. Like, how did we get this far when really the person you mad at is Louis? The person you went to for help was Louis, not Jerome. The person that went behind you to the plug was Louis, not Jerome. Even though I guess, they, like I said, when people be guilty by association, but it just irked me, Franklin's demeanor and attitude in this conversation. So Jerome goes into like, is it my fault? Like, how did you become such a scandalous, cutthroat, bitch made. We gonna need Puff to bring back the no bitch assness t-shirts for Franklin. And I was kind of sitting there like, yeah, I was agreeing with everything Jerome was saying, baby. But I did also agree with Franklin when he finally called on the phone with Louis and Jerome, and he was like, so when y'all stab me in the back, it's just business, but then when I do it, it's personal, even though stealing, well, look, he had a point. Like, y'all knew, like I said, did you think that his reaction would be to steal from y'all? No, but y'all knew that it was dead wrong to go behind him to the plug. So after Jerome gives his speech, it started emotional and it ended with calling Franklin a bitch. Well, no, he ain't calling him a bitch. He called him bitch made. So Franklin is like, is that what you see? And after Jerome gave this heartfelt, like, I was in this dark place and raising you took me out of it, then Franklin goes into everything you got, I gave you. And I'm sitting here like, this little nigga. The nerve. Teddy rubbing off on you, Franklin, because you got some nerve, unmitigated gall, to go at his uncle, everything you got, I gave you. And I like Jerome. Jerome say, what you gave me? Bodies on me? Like, all the ish Jerome that went through. And I'm thinking about what Jerome told you. He just wanted to sell motherfucking speakers, and you ain't want to let him do that. But then again, I kept flip-flopping with whose side I was on. Because everybody was making good points. Because then when Franklin say, you ended up, you wasn't doing, he was low down. I didn't agree with him with this one, but he was telling Jerome, you was selling dime bags on the porch waiting for your B to come down off that sherm. And then what I agreed with was when Franklin was like, that he gave him certain thing, they had a certain thing, and if he hadn't let his B come in and wreck stuff up, and I was kind of like, yeah, Jerome, that's what you let happen, bro. When I tell y'all, this scene was both comical and gangster for me. When Franklin is going in on Louis, and y'all know, and Louis know too, because I was mad at Louis for putting a battery in Jerome back. Louis got a soft spot when it comes to his wife. When he was going off the rails, when she was laid up in the hospital, when Scully baby mama had her shot at the funeral, he goes off the rails when it comes to his wife. My bad, sorry, that ain't his girl no more, than his wife. And I felt like Louis knew what she was doing when she says to him, you said you ain't want to go to war with your family, and I respected that. And I kind of felt like, no, you kind of didn't. But anyway, and she tells Jerome, it's something else you need to know about that night. When Franklin asked me for that favor, he pulled a gun on me, and I think he would have used it. Which, yeah, I think he would have too, Louis. But I just felt like you knew what you was doing by telling him that. Because Jerome's demeanor, when they are at their little stash spot and see that they done been robbed, and he just like, he gonna talk to the kid. His demeanor was completely different than his demeanor sitting here at this shop after finding out that he pulled the gun on Louis. Completely different demeanor. He went from, I'ma talk to the kid, to nigga, you bitch made. And slapping fire out of him. So Franklin going in talking about Louis, and Jerome slapped fire. You hear me? But look, Franklin done came a long way from when he was in jail and couldn't really take it. He took them hits. He swallowed them up good. But it was kind of comical to me how Jerome just slapped him across the room. I swear I was finna say he beat him like he stole something, but it is still something. Now, Franklin, after he gets slapped the first time, it's like, don't you ever put your hands on me again or whatever. Baby, that's when Jerome slapped him again. Like the open hand back slap. And it's like, what you gonna do? You ain't gonna do nothing? So Franklin, in this diner with these white folk, just stands up, pulls out a gun. And I just love when Jerome is like, he looking at Franklin like, do it then, little nigga. And I feel like, look, black folk, it's a way When we be saying the N-word, you can tell the context. When Franklin is on the phone with Jerome and Louis, and he is ending the conversation, and he's like, I always had my eyes open. And I still do, nigga. Like the way he said it, we know the context. So then when Jerome is sitting here like, do it, little nigga. It just tripped me out. And I really feel like if they were not in a public diner, Franklin would have pulled the trigger. Like that's my speculation. That's my speculation. But Franklin making me mad because I feel like he's not learning lessons he should have learned in yesteryear. For one, he is fully at fault for what happened to Black Diamond. And Claudia told him when he first got in this game, what do you think is going to happen when you poach customers? Like, baby, you were supposed to learn that lesson. So what did you think was going to happen poaching Louis and Jerome customers? But it is really sad to see how this family has been torn apart. And it all leads back to Teddy and the government, the CIA. So they pretty much end where I feel like it ain't no more conversations to be had. There's no more coming back from this. Jerome looked angry and hurt that his own nephew done pulled a gun on him. Franklin, little scream he did and beating the steering wheel, I really feel like he wanted to shoot Jerome. Like if they were not in a public place, he would have shot him. But y'all, goddamn, you know what really hurt my heart? After they big display at the diner, pulling that gun. All them people just sitting there like, because you don't know what's going to happen. Jerome gets up and looks over. And who is sitting in the diner? The poor little girl who daddy just died. God dang. God dang. And this little girl ain't traumatized enough. And I feel like this show really does a good job at really showing you the effects of like just the ripple effects, the cause and effect of all this ish and all the kids, families, lives, community that this is affecting. And again, I'm taking it all back to Teddy. If Teddy was not bringing the keys into America, Ivy wouldn't have had it to give to Franklin. Franklin wouldn't have had it to bring into the hood. Then when Ivy got, caught up, Franklin wouldn't have been the one that got snatched up by Teddy. Because who Franklin or anybody know in Colombia to go get this stuff? Nobody. They only had access to it because of Teddy and the CIA. But Franklin has never been a fan favorite for me. Really great character as far as like the actor Damian Idris. I feel like I always say his name weird. Great, but as far as like my fan favorite characters, it has always been Leon, Jerome, and I feel like I'm missing somebody. I can't think. But Franklin, he falling off bad, like he's slipping. But that's what always happens. That's what always happens. Scarface started slipping and fell off. It always happens. And I'm just happy, though, that my baby Leon got to sail off into the sunset with beautiful Wanda. Go ahead, y'all. Stay in Africa, please. I swear to God, if these writers bring Leon back into this ish, Leon got out unscathed. He ain't on the CIA radar. He ain't on nobody's radar. He got out unscathed, and I really wanted to stay that way. Thank you so much for watching this video, for supporting the channel. If you are tuning in to Snowfall, make sure you stay tuned for my videos so that we can discuss the episodes every week, that we get something new. I sure would like for them to give us 2 new episodes every week. Just go ahead, give me this final season, child. Go ahead. And if you would like for me to rank all seasons of Snowfall, once this season finally ends, make sure you hit like on this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.